Students, myself Mahima Lahariya. Welcome you all in my YouTube channel Pacific Chemistry Classes. Students, today this is the second lecture of the variation method. So I hope you are ready with your pen and paper. Now we can discuss that our this quantum mechanics, the Schrodinger wave equation gives the solution only for the one electron system like hydrogen, and it is not applicable for the multi electron system. So the our approximation methods are there which will gives us the solution for the multi electron systems. So first the variation method we will discuss in the detail. So some methods, approximate methods are like Hartree-Fock method, self consistent field theory method, and the variation methods are also used for the studying of the multi-electron atoms. So the variation method, we should know that the variation method is used for the calculating the energy of the system in the ground state. So what we have to we can say that the variation method can be divided into two parts. So first we will just consider some trial wave functions, and these trial wave functions are considered to be the set of the some normalized and orthogonal eigen functions. So what is the first point in the variation method? First we have to start by considering the wave function psi as a combination, linear combination of the set of normalized and orthogonal eigenfunction. So what is this words eigenfunctions, normalized and orthogonal? I have written here. When we talk about the eigenfunction, means if suppose this is a equation, I hope already you have seen my video on the eigenvalue and eigenfunction. If this is our short form of the Schrodinger equation, that is h cap psi is equals to E psi. So when this operator, means h caps is, this is our Hamiltonian operator, when it acts on a function, so when it's multiplied, it will give you the value that is termed as the eigenvalue, and this is our eigenfunction here. So similarly, what is our normalized condition? Means when we are writing the equation in the form of the integration of psi star psi d tau equals to 1. So this is the normalized condition, and when the value comes to be 0, means when the psi's are different, means psi a, psi j, we can take different wave functions. Means this is the wave function of I atom, this is the wave function of the j. So when we are writing this equation in the form of the orthogonal, we will get the value equals to 0. So what is this d tau? D tau gives us the small volume, that is our xy, dy, z and the dz in the space. Do watch the previous videos of the quantum mechanics for the details. So these three things we have to remember for starting our derivation of the variation method. So first condition, we will assume the wave functions, trial wave functions, as the linear combination of the set of normalized and orthogonal eigenfunctions. So here we have assumed the eigenfunctions like our phi 1, phi 2, phi 3 and so on, and a1, a2, a3 will be the coefficients. Here we can just write this as our h caps phi 1 equals to E I and phi I. So I are the number of the atoms, means 1, 2, it represents the first atom, second atom, like so on. And what is the second part of the variation method? The second part, we will determine the energy associated with the linear combination. So the energy equation for the variation method is equals to E is equals to integration of psi star h caps psi d tau by integration of psi star psi d tau. We all know that if we are writing them as a differently, means they are having the they are just the product of the, we can write it in the form as psi into psi star equals to psi square. We know that this psi star is the complex conjugate of the psi, as we studied that the single psi does not have the physical significance, so we take multiply it with the complex conjugate, so we get the value psi square. So this you can write it down. So we can start our derivation of the variation method. Variation method is also termed as our variation theorems, and we can say that the wave functions can be guessed. So we can say that we will take some trial wave functions, so we can write it as psi trials, and these trial wave functions can be termed as the approximate wave functions. Means by the solutions of these we will get the energies equals to that of the Schrodinger wave equation. So we can write it as energy values obtained by assuming the trial wave functions will give the solutions of the Schrodinger wave equation, and the variation theorems determines approximately the lowest or the energies in the ground level. Means what is the main important thing in the variation method? What energy values we will obtain, that will tell the energy of the ground state. Suppose if we are choosing some trial wave functions like psi1, psi2, psi3, etc., and the expected energy values are E1, E2, E3. So what the relation will be that these expected energy values E1, E2, or we can write simply as capital E, it will always be greater than or equals to the energy in the ground state, because we are determining the energy in the ground state in the variation theorem. So the expected energy values will always be greater than or equals to our energies in the ground state. So these are the some key points which you must keep in your mind when we will start the derivation of the variation method or the variation theorem. So just you can write it down. We saw that the principle of variation says that if we are having the number of the trial wave functions like psi1, psi2, psi3, and the expected energy values are E1, E2, E3 bar, so we can write it as a Ei's are greater than equals to E0, means this always the expected energies are greater than our energy of the ground state. So this will be our equation number first, and we can say that if the wave function psi is not an eigenfunction, means if our wave function psi is not an eigenfunctions, because we are taking them as a trial wave functions, so it can be expressed as a linear combination of the set of our orthogonal and the normalized eigenfunctions, that is our phi1, phi2, phi3 and phi so on. And so we can write them, and a1, a2, a3 are the coefficients. So we can write the equation as our, so psi is equals to, it is the sum of our a1 phi1 plus a2 phi2 plus a3 phi3 and so on. So this will be our equation number 2. So just you note it down, and let us see the derivation in detail. Derivation. So first we will write our first equation as Ei greater than equals to E0, means the energy values which are our expected trial energies, these values are greater than our E0. This we are assuming. So we can start our wave function psi is equals to the linear combination of A1 phi1 plus A2 phi2 plus A3 phi3 and so on. So we know that these are our A1, A2, A3 and these are the coefficients, and so we are choosing them. The function is normalized, and our phi1, phi2, phi3, these are our the trial wave functions which are having the eigenvalues our E1, E2, E3 etc. So when we will take it as a normalized wave function, so we know that what is the normalized condition? It is our integration of psi star d tau equals to 1, or we know that our psi into psi star can be written as our psi square. So we will put the psi square, so we can write the integration of psi square d tau equals to, put the value of our psi from equation number 2. So what is the value here? A1 phi1 plus A2 phi2 plus A3 phi3 whole square d tau is equals to 1. So we can just say that we will put the value of psi from, we had put the value of psi from question number 2. Now we will solve this our a plus b plus c whole square by applying the formula a plus b plus c whole square is equals to a square plus b square plus c square gives plus 2ab plus 2bc plus 2ca. Now here what will be our a will be our a1 phi1, b will be our a2 phi2 and c will be our a3 phi3. So just we will write it our, in place of our a we will take our, as we will take this outside the integration as it's a coefficient, so here a1 is square, and what is our a, the total is a1 phi1, so a1 is square, then integration, then phi1 is square d tau, then a2 is square, phi2 is square d tau, then a3 square integration, then phi3 square d tau plus 2ab plus 2bc plus 2c again. So in these three terms this 2 is common, so we will write 2 on the outside the square bracket. So what will be our value here? So first we will write our AB. So A is our A1 and this is our phi1. B is A2 phi2 and together we have to take our d tau. So then what is the second term? Second term will be our A2 A3, then we will write our phi2 phi3 and our a1 a3, then we will write integration of phi 1 phi 3 d tau equals to 1. So I hope you understand this is the a, that is our 2ab plus 2bc plus 2ca form is written in this way. So now just we can say that this is a, here when we are saying the integration of phi 1 square d tau, this function is the value which is equal to our written here, that we can say that if it is like this, phi 1 star means if these are same, so the value equals to 1. This is a normalized condition. So we will write in place of our phi 1 means when both the phi's are same, we will write 1, and when they are the different phi values, when the different wave function like 1 and 2, so here we have taken I and j. So if the different wave phi's are there, we will write them as an orthogonal. So considered as a orthogonal, so we will put 0. Now you see this equation here, this phi 1 square, both phi are same, so this is our normalized condition. Here this are same, so phi 2 square are same, so this is also normalized condition. We will put 1 here. Here also we will put in place of phi square d tau 1, in place of phi 3 square we will put a 1 again here. And now you see inside this value, this is orthogonal condition. What is orthogonal condition? When these two terms are different, means either psi 1 psi 2, or we can say here phi j phi, means when both the phi's are different, this is orthogonal condition, means when this value is equals to 0. So here we will put 0, here we will put 0, here we will put 0. So this whole term 2ab plus bc plus 2ca will become 0. So finally what is left with us? In the place of this we will get 1, in this place we will get 1, in this place also we will get 1. So all these are what is left here, a1 square plus a2 square plus a3 is equals to 1 here. So we can say over this equation we are getting the terms as a1 square plus a2 square as a3 square, and it was given as the linear combination. Here they had considered these coefficients as the linear combination form for the variation method. Now let us see the second part of our variation method. So just you can take the screenshot and complete your notes. In the second step, we will calculate the energy which will be solve the linear combination of the different functions. So the energy is calculated by the following formula, that is E bar is equals to integration of psi star h caps psi d tau by integration of psi star d tau. So here you can see that the psi and psi star can be written as a psi square also. So we will put the value of the psi, as we have also taken it earlier, as psi is equals to a1 phi 1 plus a2 phi 2. This psi is our trial wave functions, and a1 phi 1 a2 are the coefficients, phi 1 and phi 2 are the different eigen functions. So now we will put the value of our psi in equation number 8. So we will get psi star, so we will just consider it as a psi only. So we will take it as a1 phi 1 plus a2 phi 2 h caps, then again psi a1 phi 1 plus a2 phi 2 d tau by integration of psi star. So we will consider here psi star as a psi square, and we will take the square of this term. So a1 phi 1 plus a2 phi 2 whole square d tau. We already discussed that d tau is a small volume in the space, and it is considering all the three axes, that is our dx, dy, dz. So here I have written the values which functions will be orthogonal and which functions will be normalized. So we will use this value in the later in our derivation. So now just we will multiply our this part. So here we have taken our a1 phi 1 plus a2 phi 2 h caps a1 phi 1 a2 phi 2. So what we have to do, we have to multiply this term. So first we will take our a1 phi 1 h caps and d tau, and we will multiply this term with this bracket. So secondly we will multiply a2 phi 2 h caps d tau with this part. So we will have the solution like this. Now you can see when we have taken our a1 phi 1 h caps d tau, first term a1 phi 1 h caps d tau, when it multiplies with a1 phi 1 plus a2 phi 2. Similarly, we will write for the second part also, our a2 phi 2 h caps d tau will multiply with this term. So clear hai? First we will take a1 phi 1 h caps d tau multiplication with this term, Similarly, the second term, our a2 phi 2 h caps d tau will multiply this term. So now let us see the solution. Now when we are solving it, what we will get? We will write the denominator as it is, our a1 phi 1 plus a2 phi 2 square d tau. Now when we will multiply it, so a1 square phi 1 h caps and this phi 1 then d tau. We will not write the phi 1 as a square, we will just write phi 1 h caps phi 1 d tau. Then second term a1 phi 1 multiplied with a2 phi 2, so it will be a1 a2 we will write first, then our phi 1, then our h caps, then we will write our phi 2 and d tau. We have to write in this order. So then the second part, now a2 phi 2 multiplied with our a1 phi 1 term. So what you will get? a2 a1 phi 2 h caps d, and we have to write the phi 1 then the d tau. Then this term a2, so it will be a2 square, then our phi 2 h caps, then phi 2 and d tau. Now we will solve this denominator also here. So a plus b whole square, this term is our a, this term is b. So a square, so first we will write a1 square, phi 1 square and d tau plus b का स्क्वायर करेंगे तो क्या हो जाएगा आपका a2 square, phi 2 square d tau plus 2ab. So we will write 2. A, what is A? It's A1 phi 1, B is our A2 phi 2 d tau. So I hope this equation is clear. Now we have to change the h phi 1 with our h caps phi 1 with our E1 phi 1 and our this term h phi 2 with the E2 phi 2. We have to replace these terms from our equation number 9. So as we know, this is a type of Hamiltonian equation, na? So these terms are equal to each other. So just we will replace our h phi 1 on the, see these are the 4 terms 1, 2, 3, 4, but we have to only replace from the 2 terms. Means first term we will replace h caps phi 1 by E1 phi 1. So h caps phi 1 will change to E1 phi 1. Similarly, this term also our h caps phi 2 will change to our E2 phi 2. So what you will get? A1 square phi 1 h caps phi 1 changes to E1 phi 1 d tau plus A1 square, sorry, A1 A2 phi 1 h caps phi 2 d tau as it is. Integration of A2 A1 then phi 2 h caps phi 1 d tau as it is. Similarly, here A2 square, then our phi 2 h caps phi 2 is replaced by our E2 phi 2 d tau. Now the important thing we have to change it here is that you have to write the values. Means if these phi 1 are same, then we will consider it as a normalized term. So we will put 1 here, and if the different phi 1s are there, so we will consider it as a ortho. So we will put the 0. Now just to check it once here the values. Now let us simplify this equation number our 10. So what we have to do, just to check where is our orthogonal term, where is our normalized. So see here, as this is our phi 1, this is our phi 1. So when both are same, we will take it, consider it as a normalized term. So we will put our 1 here. So see this term, this is our A2 and this is, sorry, this is our phi 1, this is our phi 2. So this is our different. So we will consider it as a orthogonal function. So we will just apply here 0, put the value 0 here. Here also this is our phi 2, this is our phi 1. So this term also 0. Here you see that this is our phi 2, this is our phi 2. So this is our normalized. So the first term and the fourth term in this equation is our normalized. We will put substitute 1 here, and this second term and the third term are our orthogonal. So we will put our 0. So when we will multiply this term with the 0, the whole term will become 0. Similarly, this term will be 1 here. So now just in the place of our phi 2 d tau, we will put 1. So what will be left here? A is 2 square and E2. Similarly, in the first term, we will put our phi 1 d tau phi 1 as 1. So what will be left? A1 square and E1. So just to put this value, and in the same manner denominator also we will see when it is our same, a phi1 square d tau, it is our normalized condition. when our phi2 square same phi's है तो normalized हो गया, 1 रख देंगे हम इस पूरे टर्म की जगह पर. Similarly when it is our different phi1 phi2, we will put our 0, so whole term will 0, so this term will vanish, and this term what will be left, only a1 square, and here you will have only a2 square, the other term will become our 1. So here I have written these values separately, so you can write it down. So when the phi 1s are same, so what it will be, your 1. When it is phi 2 square, when the phi are same, it is your normalized. When there are different phi 1 phi 2, it is our orthogonal condition. Similarly you can see that when they are written in the form with the h caps as phi 1 h caps phi 2 d tau is can be written, we have replaced our h caps phi with our e, so it can also be written as our phi 1 e phi 2 d tau. So we will take out our e out of integration as it is a constant, so it can be written as e integration phi 1 phi 2 d tau. But as the phi's are different, so we will write as orthogonal, means it is our 0, all these values will become 0. So I have just given them some equations like a b c d e f g. So if you want to write it down, you can write it down separately. So we had applied this normalized and orthogonal terms in our equation number 10. So while solving this, what we will get, this term is normalized, we will put 1, this is orthogonal 0, this is orthogonal 0, this is our normalized, so we will put 1 here. Again this is our normalized and orthogonal. So what we will get here, a1 square and e1. Then here what you will get from the fourth term, that is our a2 square and e2 by a1 square plus a2 square. So now let us see further. Equation number 10 becomes as our e bar is equals to a1 square e1 plus a2 square e2 by a1 square plus a2 square and so on. So now we know that from equation number 6. So what was our equation number 6? So equation number 6 was our a1 square plus a2 square plus a3 square equals to 1. So here this we will take up to a2 only. So what we will write, we in the place of our a2 square and a1 square and a2 square we will put 1. So this denominator term will be only 1. So we will remove this. So what you will get, only we will get e bar equals to a1 square e1 plus a2 square e2 and so on. So we can just say that as this is the expected energy values, and we discussed earlier that expected energy values are always greater than the values of the ground energy state. So how we will solve it as, so we will take e bar minus e0. If this is our positive, so we can say that the values will be always greater than our e bar. So now let us solve it. So first we will take the a square e1 plus a2 square e2. So how we will write in, we have to write in this form. First we will write the terms in the e bar, then we will write our e0. Means first we will write e bar. What is the e bar value? E bar is equals to a1 square e1 plus a2 square e2. So we will take this value from equation number 11, and now we will subtract our e0. So both these e1 e2 can be written as e0 here. So we will write it as a minus, we will have to write e bar minus e0. So this is our e bar value from equation number 11th, or this is the change form of equation number 11. So we can write it as now minus the a1 square e0 plus a2 square e0. So what we will do, we will take our e0 common in this term. So it will be, it is same a1 square e1 plus a2 square e2 minus e0 into a1 square plus a2 square. So now what, we will just open the bracket. So what you will get, a1 square e1 plus a2 square e2 minus a1 square e0 minus e0 a2 square. So what we will do, we will write our a1 term first and a2 terms after. So when we will write like this, so it will be our a1 square e1 minus a1 square e0 plus a2 square e2 minus a2 square e0, this term. Now what we will do, we will take our a1 common both the terms. So what it will be, that is our a1 square in bracket e1 minus e0. Here what you will get, here you will get a2 square common and e2 minus e0. So Then next is our what it changes to, if we will write this equation in this form. So now we can see that here both the terms are our positive terms. This first term is also positive and this term is also positive. Since E0 is the lowest eigenvalue energy, so we can say that our H caps, or we can say that E1 is greater than E0 and E2 is also greater than our E0. So that is our both are positive, hence our value of E bar minus E0 is always positive. We say that E bar is equals to E0. So if it is equals to E0, so that in that case our numerator of the 11th equation can vanish, means our this term will vanish. If E bar is equals to E0, the first term will vanish, and so we can say that EI is equals to E0, means our E1 can be E0, this can be E0. So the term, ये जो हमारा numerator term है, it should be 0. But so we can say that if psi 0 is equals to phi 0, so psi should be exact eigenfunction with the eigenvalue E0, means if it is the condition, so we can say that psi should also be our exact eigenfunction, means it is our trial wave function. So but if these terms are 0, so we can say that it can be equals to E0. So as we know that our equation number 6 was A1 square plus A2 square is equals to 1. So we can show that the physical significance of the equation number 10th. What is that? Our all these terms are positive. So this means the energy of system is, if it is measured at any instant, it will either be of the two eigenvalues, means either E1 or either E2 with the probabilities A1 square and A2 square respectively, and energy of the system will be given by the equation number 10. So this is all for the variation theorem.